Hey there guys, welcome back to another video on my channel, and in this video we're just going to see quickly the return types and the parameters of the functions, how we use them and see how we use them in Java. So what I've done over here is I have taken a parameter for the accelerate function called new speed, and I'm going to set the current speed of the object calling the function to the new speed I pass it to. So let's say this for example. Let me just run this quickly. I have called suv.accelerate 100 and lambo.accelerate 200. So and you can see the output. The current speed of the SUV came out to be 100 and the current speed of the Lambo came out to be 200. How did this work? When I call this function, I passed 100 as a parameter to it, so the new speed became 100, and I used SUV to call this function, right? So this here refers to SUV. So now this dot current speed basically means SUV dot current speed equal to 100 or equal to new speed, and new speed equal to 100, so this became equal to 100. So hence the SUV dot current speed became 100, and similarly Lambo dot current speed became to 200 because we call Lambo dot accelerate 200. So this is how you can use parameters to change a value of a property of an object. You can use them like that, and you can use the return type, and I'm gonna use the return type to say what can we do for the return type in the acceleration function. We're just going to return how much of the difference between the speed it has from the top speed it is. So we're just going to print the difference between current speed and the top speed. This dot top speed minus current speed. So we are just basically going to return that how much speed it has still left in it. And now I'm just going to move this print upwards. So now we are going to print the SUV data first and then the Lambo's data first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an integer over here and speed left. And I'm gonna set speed left equal to this. I'm just gonna print it anywhere over here. And I'm gonna do the same. Over here. I need a plus over here. And now you're going to see speed left for Lambo, so we are going to take speed left in this. So let's just go. So as you can see, it printed me the amount of speed left. So basically I just returned the difference of the top speed of the object calling the function and the new current speed, and I took that into the speed left integer variable and just printed it. And I did the same for the Lambo and for the SUV. So you see the speed left amount that the SUV still has the 80 left and the Lambo has now only 17 left. So that's a return type and parameters to the function. You can have multiple parameters like this. So say for example you want to modify the top speed as well, not modify the top speed, you're just say what do we do now? Let's just modify the number of doors into new doors, and this dot doors equal to new doors, right? So now I'm going to pass the number of doors SUV, I'm just gonna make it number of doors 2, and now Lambo, I'm going to make a 4-door Lambo. So this multiple parameters thing, it will work. See, now the SUV became 2-doored and the Lambo became 4-doored. Again, what happened is we used the SUV to call the function. So what happened is SUV.current speed equal to new speed, SUV.doors equal to new doors, and then it returned SUV.top speed minus the current speed over here. Okay, so that's what happened over here. So anyways guys, do I have more time? If I do, I'm just going to cover one more thing. Yes, I do. I have 4 minutes to quickly cover a cool new thing. So so the thing is, you can use this is very good, okay, but there is a way to set some values to the object as soon as it is created. So instead of using this or using a function like this to set values to the parameters or to the properties of the object, we have a way to set the values of the object as soon as it is created. So what I'm trying to say is, instead of doing all this, we have a way, something like this, which will automatically set the values of values of the object properties as I want them to. So I'm just gonna quickly show you that how it's done. That thing is called constructor. So if you wonder what is this case car parentheses, this is basically a function, right? And this function is a special type of function because it has the same name as the name of the class, and these special type of functions are basically called constructors. And the way we define the constructors is like this. So pretty much there's a default constructor already used in Java, which basically assigns nothing to the properties of the class of the object. So pretty much this default constructor right now, it means that give SUV doors and type and speed and top speed, and top speed and current speed. That's what this means, that this new car will basically give SUV the doors, the type, the top speed and the current speed, but will not give it the values to them. So if you want some sort of values assigned to the object as soon as it is created, we use some constructors, and here's how we use them. We write the name of the car, name of the class, and as you can see, it pretty much highlighted me this, and inside this I can write what I want the values to be. I can write like doors equal to 4 and top speed equal to 200, type is equal to unknown, current speed equal to 10. So that's pretty much it. Now if I now you see that this function right here now has a definition inside this. So whenever we create a new object, a function like this is called, and now we have defined the function. So due to the definition, it's not just simply going to give SUV doors, SUV the properties of the class. Now it's going to do what this definition also gives, right? So I'll just pretty much show you first this thing. sys dot out dot println constructor called. If I run this program right now, as you can see, I have never really called something like this suv.car. I have not used this because the car is a constructor, and a constructor is called every time you create a variable, so a class variable. So pretty much over here the constructor will be called, over here the constructor will be called. So you will see constructor called 2 times. See, constructor called, constructor called. Okay, now this, in case you're wondering why is the type coming out to be null, it's because I have never really assigned the type to anything, right? So you want to avoid such conditions. You don't want the type to be null. You can simply say that this basically means that the car has 0 doors, which is possible. The car has no current speed, which is possible. The car has no top speed, which is also possible. The car has no type, which is kind of seems off, because even if the car is not constructed yet, it should have a type, right? Like you're going to construct an SUV car, it should have a type. So just an example, you can say that it's fine. So the car type should be unknown, right? So basically you have no details of the car, so the car type should be unknown. So that's not the point over here. Let's just get back to the point. So what I'm trying to say is, each time you create a variable, a constructor is called. If you don't define that constructor, there's Java by default calls a constructor, which will simply give the properties of the class to that object. But if you define a constructor, it's gonna do some things inside that constructor. So hence you see the constructor call over here. So if I have this now, what's it's going to do is, whenever an object is created, it's going to call the constructor, and for that object it's going to set doors equal to 4, top speed equal to 200, type equal to unknown, current speed equal to 10. Don't believe me? Let me show you. And as you can see, it set all those values as I gave it over here to the objects I created as soon as they were created, right? You getting my point? To a constructor is called whenever the object is created, and it basically assigns whatever, it basically does whatever you tell it to do inside the definition of a constructor. So basically the constructor is a function which is called automatically whenever a new object is created. You can have a parameterized constructor, like say for example I want to write the type also, so string type. Now if I run this, if I run it like this, see it's giving me an error that it requires a type. So I'll now say that the first is SUV and the second is a supercar. And inside my constructor I'm going to set type. Let's just change the name. I'm going to set the type equal to TYP. Okay, so the type of the object will be now set to the whatever the parameter I pass. So the type of SUV will now be this, and the type of Lambo will now be this. Now let's just quickly run it. See, it did that. Similarly, you can have n number of parameters inside a current structure which is parameterized, and you can have multiple type of parameters, multiple type of constructors. Like say for example in this constructor, in this constructor I will be setting type and current speed on my own. Just quickly copy this definition. And set the current speed to curve speed. So now what happens if I only pass one parameter? You see that this is matching with the above constructor, which takes only string. So this will call this constructor, And if I pass another parameter over here, like so now what's going to happen if I only pass one parameter string, which basically means with this it relates looks like something like this, that only take one string per meter. It looks like this, so it will call this constructor. But if I pass two parameters like this, now this constructor now has two parameters, one is string and one is int. So it will go into my class and see if I have defined a constructor which looks something like this, which means that which takes one string parameter and one integer parameter. Oh yes, it is over here. So now instead of calling this constructor, it's going to call this constructor. So I'll just prove you. The first calls the string with only this constructor, and the second will call this constructor. So the speed of SUV you will see 10, and the speed of Lambo you will see 200. There we go. Current speed of SUV is 10, current speed of Super Lambo is 200. So if you don't get the constructor, the multiple constructors part, you can just ignore this for a while, because this is a concept we will study soon. This is basically an overloading concept, and we will study that soon. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna end this video here. Was this long? No, that was okay. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna end this video here. Goodbye.